Afternoon here in Israel and good morning in Toronto. Welcome to the Practical Inspiration Show. I'm very thrilled and excited to be here today and introduce you to my guest, Gudni Gudnason. He is the founder, the owner, the head teacher of the Modern Mystery School that is now in over 48 countries around the world. And this year, he's celebrating 40 years of spiritual teaching all around the world. So let's meet you. Hi, Gudni.
Hello.
How are you? Welcome to the show. Thank you very much for accepting my invitation to be interviewed in the Practical Inspiration Show.
Thank you for inviting me.
I want to... What?
Thank you for inviting me.
Oh, yes, my pleasure. And I want to say a few words about the show and about me. For everybody who doesn't know me, my name is Orly Bar-Kima. I am a journalist, I am a life coach, I am an author, and many, many things. But mostly I'm a curious person, and I want to, I initiated this show, the international show, to talk to mentors all over the world, because I want to bring, first of all, the messages of love and of peace and of unity here to Israel, to our area, and all over the world. And I want to show that no matter I speak to, even if it's someone from the mystery school or from the Buddhism, in any spiritual realm, we're all talking about the same things, which are bringing more light and more love to the world and joining together with unity to bring peace. So this is the purpose of the show. And I want to introduce again Gudni, and I'm very honored that you are here. And also Shani Lehrer, who is sitting next to you. Beautiful Shani.
Hello.
Thank you.
Hi.
Hi. And Shani is one of the guides and one of the facilitators of the Mystery School courses here in Israel. She opened the school here 2 years ago or a year ago.
A year ago we started.
A year ago.
Yeah.
It seems so long ago. And I was blessed to be one of your students in your class with Dr. Rita and then with Martina, and I was initiated by you. So I thank you for that. So, Gudni, let's start with you. You know, when I read your resume, you sent me your bio in the mail, and I said, listen, it can't be true. This man is 47 years old. And 57. It looks like 57. Okay, you look 47. And it looks like you live the lives of, it looks like you live the life of 5, 6, 7 people. What's happening there? How come?
I'm having fun.
I guess this is the purpose of life, no? To have fun.
Yes. Joy.
So I want to ask you a little bit about your story and what shaped you into being what you are today. I know that you were born in Iceland, and you were, and you wrote to me that you had, you were born with a twin brother that died on birth. So. Yep. I want to know how did it affect your life, this fact that you were born with a twin brother?
Well, it's been a long time, so I don't really remember. And I was very little, but you know, obviously identical twins are very close. So he passed away 30 minutes after we came to this world, after he came to this world, and left me alone. And that's all he needed. He needed 30 minutes in the physical body, and then he was done. But because we were so connected with identical twins, I spent the next 10 years with him on the other side of the veil. So I was raised with beings that, you know, we normally call gods or angels, and these beings. That was the first 10 years of my life. So when I was 10,
what did you mean that you lived on both sides? Can you you explain to people who don't know what does it mean?
basically, my parents were very worried because I was mostly catatonic, and you know, I would wake up in the morning, but I wasn't really there. My mother put me on the floor, and I would just sit there all day, and so because my soul was not in my body, and I spent most of the time on the other side. And they took me to doctors and hospitals and had me checked all over Europe, and everybody said there's nothing wrong with him, he's just not there, he's checked out. So that was the first 10 years. Then
so it means that you were able to be exposed to knowledge or to things that we humans that live on this side don't have these experiences. Was it that enabled you to be open to get that knowledge and now to teach it?
I mean, honestly, the first 10 years I was with my mom and dad were, what we would call in the Kabbalah, God Elohim, Elo and Eloha. That was my mom and dad. So I of course, I just called them mom and dad. I had no identity to my biological parents at this time. And I knew they existed, but intellectually I did not have any connection with them. And so I learned from mom and dad on the other side of the veil, and had them to communicate with about life, about how all of these things that life is about. And so when I was 10, I was raised in Iceland. In Iceland is a Lutheran Protestant country. And even though my parents were not like super religious or anything like that, they still supported the local church, and we go to church sometimes. And of course, the priest talking about hell and damnation, and like those priests do. And one Sunday, the priest came home after church to my parents' house, and I started telling him that he was teaching the wrong thing. I was 10 years old, and I said, you're teaching the wrong thing. There is no hell, there is no sin, and there's no shame. These are all concepts created by humans in order to control population. And he literally grabbed me, a 10-year-old boy, threw me on the floor and started doing an exorcism on me. And this shocked me so much that I didn't want to live. And I started trying to die. And for the next 3 years, I was basically trying to die. I was in and out of hospitals, and I almost did die.
So it was like you were escaping from your body, from Earth.
Yeah, I didn't want to be on this planet. I felt, no, this is not for me. I have no reason to stay here when people treat me this way, and when this event made me feel that way. And then when I was 13, I was in the hospital, and I was basically dying. I had an angelic visit, one of these beings that had been teaching me. More specifically, we call this being Haniel today. And he came to me and he said, okay, it's time to leave. And I said, okay, I'm ready. I'm fine with that. And he said, are you sure? And I said, what do you mean? Well, he said, well, is there anything you want? Is there any reason why you want to stay? And I said, I don't know. Is there a reason for me to stay? And he said, well, maybe you want to, share what you've learned and help people understand. And so I saw that, and I thought, okay, all right, I stay. And that's really when my life started, was when I was 13. And
so he basically showed you or gave you your life purpose at that,
yes.
at that meeting.
Yes, basically did.
And how did you, I know that you tried many things during your spiritual path, and you were all over the world learning and teaching. What brought you to the mystery school tradition? How did you get there? And if you can also, while you're talking, elaborate a little, what is the mystery school? What is it about?
Well, my path really started, and when I was 13, I didn't realize this. When I was 8 years old, 3 strange men came to my parents' house. And they said, they came from England, and they said to my parents, we'll come because your son is going to be trained in this secret order. My parents were not very happy with this, or they were kind of scared. And they said, well, you can't take him. And they said, no, we're not going to take him. He'll be trained from basically the etheric side. And so that's how it started. And then they just left. My mom told me this when I was 13. So I basically thought, okay, I don't want to be like a priest or preacher or anything like that. I want to teach, but I need a forum. I need a foundation for that. So I went to England, started looking for this organization of these 3 men. And it took me a while. And while I was studying, I studied shamanism. I studied, of course, I was guru hopping, like I think all of us have done. I went to India and tried the gurus, and so. But after a while, in England, I did find the mystery school. I was actually with my rabbi. I studied Kabbalah with a rabbi, and we were having a celebration. It was on a Saturday, and we were having a really beautiful celebration. And this man comes in, and he brings a little business card. It says, "Come to this address tonight at 7." And I thought he was, weird. And what? No, I'm not gonna. This sounds weird. And then, but something called me, because this card was really simple. It was just a little symbol and an address. That's it. And so I went, and I found myself. You
were curious what it was.
I was guided. I was being guided. I think Haniel was pushing me to go, and then when I got there, it was basically what's called it was a secret order that had disappeared in 1932, and was not supposed to be around anymore. And it's called the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn. And I basically was in the headquarters of this order, and it was very well alive and functioning, and thousands of students going through it all the time, and it was very, very active school. And this was basically like the King Solomon lineage of the mystery school. So
and back then, not like now, the lineage was delivered from teacher to student. Not if you were outside like me, how could I have heard about it? It's either you were specifically brought or called there, right?
Yes. Closed mystery school chooses the students. So there's nobody there who's not been chosen and asked to come. You can't. It's closed, so there's no marketing or anything like that. And the Golden Dawn is not. There's Golden Dawn stuff now on the internet, and there's a website, but it's not the true order of Golden Dawn. It's still secret in England. So.
And as I understand, you learned, you went all over the world to all the mystery. How many mystery schools there are in the world?
Well, there are 7 locations of the mystery schools, and at that time, I visited Tibet, which is the main one, and this was 1977. Tibet didn't open the border until 1978. So I was in India, and I was with Sai Baba for 6 months, and walked with Sai Baba. And then I went up north and walked my way into Tibet. And the way I smuggled myself over the border was with the monks. The Chinese government kind of let the monks do what they wanted. So I put on this orange robe, and I just hid myself with the monks. And if they had found me, they would have shot me. They had shot that same week. They shot a German climber who was trying to get to Everest, and he was shot, and his body was still there. Actually, it was really scary. So that's how I got into Tibet. And then I went to the Congo in Africa. And then I went to Romania. These are 3 locations I visited at this time.
And so there are mystery schools spread all over the world, and the people who are called into the mystery were specific, like you were, you know, somebody chose you when you were, I don't know, when you were born.
Yes.
This is how you feel that you were chosen for this mission?
Yes, I mean, I didn't realize at the time that I was chosen to basically take the mystery school teachings to the public. I didn't know that, but they all called me when I was young. They called me the world teacher, and I didn't understand what they were talking about. And I guess they were right, because today we teach in 46 countries. Of course, I was just curious. I wanted to learn, and I was very serious. I had not learned joy at this time. I was a very serious student. Serious teacher. In my first classes, I taught my first class in 1976. I taught Kabbalistic meditation in Iceland, and some of the students were laughing, and I told them, "Don't laugh. It's only fools laugh." I had not gotten a joy part at that time, you know.
Well, you had to evolve a little, no?
Yeah.
We all do. So, you know, it's like in the Kabbalah. I studied for a few years Kabbalah here in Israel, and they told us that until a certain age and until a certain time, it was not allowed. It was secrets, that they were not allowed to teach them to the public. And then there was the time that, you know, they got the message that they could teach. They could bring it to everybody who wanted, Jewish, non-Jewish, it doesn't matter.
Yep.
So is it like this in the mystery school tradition also? That now you have a permission to teach what you knew, what you want, to teach what you know?
Not really, because all the other mystery schools are closed. There are 7 mystery schools, and only ours is open to the public. The others are still closed. They still choose students. And if you want to study, like if you study with the Japanese mystery school, it's located at Mount Kurama outside Kyoto. And if you study there, you have to become a monk or a nun, shave your head, and really dedicate your life to that. And we're the only ones that are open. In July 7th, 1997, basically we came to the time of no more secrets. So the mystery school gave me the charge of, okay, go, we take over. I took over the North American school, and I moved to America, and we started basically, I moved to America in 95, and we opened up in 97 to the general public. And it's been very fast. My head's still spinning, because it's just from 0 in 97 to 46 countries today.
So what happened actually that somehow they let you open it to the world? What are we accelerating in our development? Are there new, I don't know, teaching or energies that need to be taught in this era? Why is it happening nowadays?
Well, it's not, even though we're a mystery school, it's not really a mystery what's going on. If we go back a little bit to the origins of mystery school, so our tradition is called the Hermetic Tradition, and which means that, or why we call it Hermetic Tradition, because main teachings come from Hermes Trismegistus, and which was teaching these 8,000 years ago. Now his teachings were verbal, and so he was gathering information from other teachers, so it's probably much older than that. But in those teachings, we are told in the beginning of everything, well, in the beginning, we read in the Sefer Yetzirah that everything began with the three mothers. So in the beginning were the three mothers who created everything. But what they created was something called Shambhala, and the city of Shambhala. And we actually have maps, and we can show locations where that is. And we have now found, archaeologists have found the main temple of the Shambhala, the central point of Shambhala. And there are beautiful pictures of that temple. It's the largest pyramid on the planet today. And it's, if you Google pyramids of Japan, you will find pictures. It's an area called Yonaguni.
So it's in Japan? It's in Japan where it's located?
It's in the ocean. It's under the ocean. You have to dive to get there. It's outside Okinawa. And but so Shambhala was the first city of peace, and everybody lived there in the city, and hundreds of millions of people lived there. Then the walls opened up, and the tribes spread around the planet. And with spreading out, we basically allowed experience to come into our lives. And experience means that we have the choice between good and evil. And obviously, if we have choice between good and evil, choosing good or evil is part of that experience. So it's not that we don't say, well, choosing evil is bad. It's a part of the experience. So you've chosen bad, okay, you suffer for that, we get karma for that, so we know, oh, this is not a good choice, then I should choose this way. So we learn, that's how we learn. So this is the path that we chose, and we were thrown out of the Garden of Eden to learn these things.
But and you're talking now in the physical world?
Physical.
You're talking about the physical world or the spiritual world?
Physical world. This physical existence that we are. We are here to learn something from this physical existence. And now the reason why the mystery school is out is that the time for the new Shambhala is coming. And that's been prophesied by almost everybody. Everybody has prophesied that the new Shambhala, the new Jerusalem, the new world is coming. And what that's going to be like, well, I don't say this is how it's going to be, because it's a world that we all will create together as humans. The facts that we do know is that there's going to be peace, there's going to be no health problems, it's going to be a compassionate, loving society like the first Shambhala was. And for that to happen, Mystery School has been saying for 8,000 years, we need these teachings. We need to know how to treat each other. We need to know how to use energy. We need to understand the three bodies, the physical body, the soul body, and the spiritual body, in order to nurture all three. And that's basically what the teachings are about. And we have to have joy. Joy is the
you're saying that the future is good. You give us hope.
Yes. Future is going to be very good.
But meanwhile, and I wanted to ask you that because I know this is your vision, and I know this is why you made the mystery school and you go over the world and you teach your teachings. But meanwhile, what is happening and what you see in the physical world is hunger, is hatred, is violence, is people that are killing each other. So what is going on here? If the future is so good, do we have to go through this, bad times in order to come to the good ones?
So, yes, news shows us all the bad things going on. But I know for a fact that yesterday, a police officer in Kansas City stopped traffic on the freeway to allow 10 ducks to cross over the road.
Okay.
There are many things going on. Millions of flowers bloom today. Hundreds of thousands of children were born. You know, there are many good things happening also, just not reported.
Mm.
So there is good, but there's also bad. Now the bad, okay, so we're here to choose between good and evil. There are those who have chosen evil and think it's good. There are many who think that the system they created is a good system, even though we know it's not really a good system, because individuals get lost and wars are started because of this system. But they think it's the right one. It's kind of like Darth Vader in Star Wars. You know, he became Darth Vader thinking he was doing the right thing.
Yes.
People think they created a good thing, and yet it's really not, and it's breaking down. The system is breaking down. And the people, we the people, are realizing this and saying no to the system. So it's gonna be a hard time for a while. I think, I have a feeling that we will see some hard times until at least 2021. So just hang in there a little bit longer. But you know, and with that, these people who chosen bad, they will also realize, you know, it's this conflict, and they will start realizing, oh, it's kind of like what's beautiful is happening right now is with food. People are realizing that food is very important, and that, you know, the holiness of food and what we eat. And with understanding that, with the mass consciousness waking up, we are now seeing that the decrease of McDonald's. McDonald's
Yes.
is failing all over the world.
Yes.
So good things are happening. All good.
So tell me, you know, this is an opportunity actually to talk to somebody who's seeing from the other side and lives here. So, you know, we are all in all our spiritual journey, we are around these three basic core questions of who we really are, and where did we come from, and where are we going from here, and what is the purpose of all that? So I chose you to be the one to give me the answers for these questions.
Okay. Answering the question, who am I, is really the reason we came. Who am I? We need to understand this concept. But we can start simply, and the Kabbalah is about that. Kabbalah is about answering the question, who am I? And it's fun. Kabbalah is a fun practice, because through it you learn. You're learning, like the Kabbalah we teach is, we call it the universal Kabbalah. It's a little bit different from other, there are many different Kabbalahs. Obviously the Jewish Kabbalah, we have the Christian Kabbalah, we have a Germanic Kabbalah, we have, you know, Muslim Kabbalah. So there's many different Kabbalahs. But in the universal Kabbalah, we focus on having fun with ourselves, with the entity that we are, and finding through joy to find the answers to our questions. So who am I? First of all, one of our main sentences, main teachings is that I am an eternal being. I am an eternal being. I have never been born, and I can never die. This is the number one thing. If we truly understand this, we will have no fear.
So we're basically what you're saying, that we come from spirit, we come from God, and we go back to God after the physical experience.
Yes. We came to this planet basically as tourists. We're all tourists here. And we got a rental vehicle. We rented this vehicle to go around. It has an expiration date, but it's in the fine print. We never read that, so we don't know when the expiration date is. And then, you know, we go around until that's over, and we go back to the eternity and back to our main mission, which is eternity. This is just a pit stop. We just stopped to go to the bathroom, basically.
Yeah, you know, it's only 80, 100 years. That's nothing compared to eternity.
Yeah, it's just like this.
So what is the purpose of the physical experience? Do you say, if I understand you right, in the journey that we come down and then we go up, so there's only one physical experience? Because, you know, in many traditions, spiritual traditions, they talk about reincarnation. that you come back and back and back and back to learn. And even in the Kabbalah, I don't know, in the Jewish Kabbalah, they talk about reincarnation, and that you have something that you need to learn in order to fix it, or you'll come back again, or your soul will come back again and again and again. So give me some order. What's going on here?
Well, there's a lot of talk about reincarnation and past lives. And example, here in Toronto this week, I'm teaching past life regression therapy. But I want to refer to a conversation I had. The Dalai Lama came to my center when I ran the Kabbalah Center in Sweden. And we had a private discussion. He came, he had a big speech in a church, and then he came to my center and he met my students there, and then we had a private conversation. And we basically argued. I was arguing with the Dalai Lama, you know, and for about 15 minutes. And then he sat back and he said, okay, now let's talk about the things that unite us instead of the things that divide us. Okay. It was almost like the Dalai Lama hit me in the head. It's like, oh, okay, you know. And then we talked, had a beautiful conversation for about 45 minutes. And he said in this conversation, he said, I have never been here before. And I said, wait a minute. You teach that you are the reincarnation of the Dalai. He said, yes, I come from a bodhisattva. I come from a cloud of beings. And in this cloud, there are 20-something beings that become the Dalai Lama.
Ah, okay.
And each one of us comes down, but we only stay for one time. So they do not believe in reincarnation like it's taught today, but the reincarnation of the bodhisattva. So each spirit only comes down once to have this physical experience, which is very hard for the spirit to do, actually. It's like being pressed into a tin can.
Yes.
It's very hard to be on this planet. And many of us who are spiritual, many people take their lives because they become aware and can't take it.
It's too much density here.
Yes.
When you're used to all this light and space there.
But the other thing about reincarnation is this. I remember many lifetimes on Earth. I remember thousands of lifetimes on Earth. But the thing is, how can we reincarnate if we are all one? We are just one big entity. We are oneness. And if we are oneness, then I will know all of your lives and all of your energy and all of Shani's energy and everybody's energy. I will know all of these things. And of course, then I have memories from that. And these memories come up when I go to London. Like first time I came to London with my parents, I was their guide. I guided them. Oh yeah, there's a bakery around the corner. Like, how do you know this?
Yeah, it's like the deja vu that you know that you've been somewhere.
Yeah.
So how do you explain that?
Because we're all one.
So I can have memories from your life, and you can have memories from my life or past lives?
Well, it's not really, when we have deja vu, it's not that I'm remembering your life. I'm remembering someone's life. Because we're all one. I might even be hooking into, and when I meet someone and I go, wow, this feels so, this happened before. I might be hooking up to a person that this person met a half an hour ago. Because that energy is still with that person. So it's all energy, and all these energies are intertwined and linking together. And it's all a question of our consciousness. How aware are we of all this? And the more we raise our awareness, the more we see clarity and more we see everything. It's like my life, in my whole life, I'm basically born without a veil. So there's no veil. So when I was young, I had a very hard time. I couldn't see any difference between humans and passed on people. So my grandfather and grandmother, everybody was around me all the time. And
because
so
you basically feel or you see their energies.
I see them equally as human. So I didn't know, are you real or are you not? And even touching people, you know, because a ghost, like we call it, is still physical. You know, when we pass over to the other side, we come
what
to
happens? There's one question here that one of the ladies that are listening to us asked, where does the soul go after you die, after your physical time is off?
Yeah, I'll answer that. But the more interesting is that the first thing we feel when we pass over to the other side, people often think, oh, it's relief or it's joy or things like that. No, the first thing you feel is your physical body.
How come?
What we call ghost, but you can feel your body. So you go, oh, I can't be dead. I can feel my body. Because all materia is density in some form. It's just lighter than this density. And yet it's so like I have often gotten a hug from what we call a ghost and felt the physical body. If you're psychic enough for that, you can actually hug a ghost. So when we pass over the soul, so we're a physical body, we're soul, and we're spirit. So when we pass over, the physical body goes back to this earth, back to Mother Gaia, who loaned us this rental vehicle, who put together all the molecules so that we can drive around here. And then the spirit and the soul continue. And the spirit and the soul on the other side. So you have all the memories, you have all the knowledge that you gathered here on earth. You take all that with you. Now this now needs to be integrated into your main vehicle, which is the spirit. So the soul stays with you for a few thousand years in earth time. And you integrate that knowledge so it's not so dense. And then at one point, that soul, we don't need it anymore, so it kind of just withers away. And the spirit has everything within it.
So let me see if I understand what you're saying. You say that we are spirit. We come from God, from eternity, from Ein Sof. And when we go into the physical body, we have a companion, which is the soul. So what is the purpose of the soul? What does it do for us? Why do we need it?
It's a software program. It just gathers information.
It's like it records all our lives, all we're thinking, all we're doing, and
yes.
it's combined with the spirit. And after the body is diminished or is dead, the soul and the spirit go up for another few thousand years,
Yes.
and then when the spirit goes to higher levels or higher dimensions, the soul goes where?
It just disintegrates. We don't need it anymore. It's a software program in a computer, and we outgrown it.
So it goes to like a bank of souls, and when somebody else comes to the physical, it can go with him?
No. It just disappears. The guff, or what's called the Hall of Souls, is not really filled with souls per se. The guff is filled with spirits waiting to incarnate into a physical body. So it's like a waiting station.
Okay. So let's talk about the purpose or missions in life, because I know many people here, including myself, when I was a little girl, I had a sense that I have some mission to do. And all my life, I've been looking and making it more and more accurate for me. What is the purpose of me being here in this physical body, in this area, in this time? So can you give us, like a clue where we can find it, or a tip or something? Because the show is called Practical Inspiration, so we need the practical.
Okay, first of all, we did not come down here to be spiritual. We came down here to be physical. We're here to be a physical being. So we are already spirit. So the kingdom of spirit is embodied in my flesh. So I need to learn to use this physical body. Now, the problem with most of us spiritual people is that we forget about the body. And we're always trying to be so spiritual. And we have to be more, we can do anything we want, but it's a practical thing to take care of our vehicle. It needs to have oil, it needs to have good nutrition, it needs to have fuel, it needs to be cleaned, it needs to be washed, the tires need to be readjusted, the air needs to be adjusted. Also breathe. Most people don't breathe enough. You know, so the practical things that we learn, example from yoga, the reason why I went to India is to learn that part. And actually, to be honest, I failed on my mission of health because 2 years ago, my body crashed because I was not taking care of my vehicle. And because it's hard for us spiritual people, we're so focused on the spiritual practices and meditation and everything is in the mind.
Yes.
But it's very important. Because the mission, why are we here? You know, we came to learn about Häagen-Dazs.
The taste of chocolate.
Chocolate, yes. And
sex.
And sex, and even PMS, and toothache, and all of these experiences of life that we don't like. This is why we came. So, you know, you talked about sex. You know, it's very sad that this amazing, beautiful gift to us that is a part of. By the way, don't worry, you will also have sex as spirits. So
good.
Yeah. But it is a very important part of the physical body, and thousands of years ago, the gods gave us the teachings of what's called Tantra. In order to utilize the body in the best possible way. Not only for sex, but just for life. And this was the main reason why I went to India, was to learn the Tantric teaching. And
also, you know, today I was talking to somebody, I was interviewing something because I'm doing about sacred sex. I'm doing an article now, and I'm interviewing people who are practicing and teaching Tantra. And I told her that I was interviewing you, and she said, you know, King Solomon himself, he was doing much sex. He loved women, but he was doing it in a tantric way because he was doing it in order to take the energy from the sex and bring it up to higher levels.
Yes, we have a slightly different version of that, actually. In the doctrine, there's a library in London that's closed to the public, of course. It's only for members. And in that library is a lot of documents from King Solomon time. And King Solomon is renowned for having hundreds of wives, example. That's actually not the truth. Yes, he was married to many women under the guidance of his wife, Queen of Sheba. And he impregnated them to bring down a specific energy that will flow around the planet. So Solomon never had sex more than one time with each woman.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah. And then they would go away. The idea, which it does not, so that if there are any men out there, don't get any crazy ideas. This only applied to King Solomon, okay? But he was charged by God to bring certain lineage into the world so that all people would have the blood of initiates of God. And I don't want to sound weird, but it's actually in the Kabbalistic doctrine and in the King Solomon doctrine. It's called to initiate all into the house of Israel. It's not. It's a concept. The house of Israel is the house of God. So Elohim's house, and all would have the blood of that. So this was his charge. This was his mission. So he did impregnate thousands of women actually that were sent back, and I've even found this lineage in Japan. There was a Japanese princess from a tribe in Japan called the Ainu, and she was in Alexandria with King Solomon. So this was a different mission, and he basically had tantric life with his wife, Shiva, which was very famous at the time. So slightly different version.
Okay, so let's talk a little bit more about the mystery school tradition and tools that you teach. You know, I experienced myself the life activation, for example, and if you would, I would like to hear from you a few words about. You know, because people ask me, what is it? I say, I don't know. It was a very awesome experience, but I don't know how to explain it. What really happens when you get this life activation and what other unique tools you learn in the mystery school, you know, if people want to learn there?
Well, let me start with this. The number one tool we have is a tool that used to be very common, a tool that every tribe on the planet used to have, and that's called initiation. Everybody was initiated. Now we have remnants of that in religion, like bar mitzvahs and the confirmation in the Catholic Church, etc. We still have those remnants of initiation, but the true initiations are lost. So this is the main mission of the mystery school, is to bring out the initiations back to society. What happens when you're initiated? You are brought when we basically use a sword or a cane. We can use different tools, but then this tool goes down on your shoulders and your head, bringing down the upper triad of the tree of life, or the etheric energy. And that comes down and makes you a holy person. And that changes your DNA completely. You actually are now programmed for success. You're programmed for joy. So this is our main initiation when we become what we call adept initiation, or we have different names, right? But you know, so this is the first initiation. After that initiation, we have many tools of activations that activate more potential within the body. Example,
why do we need to activate them? We are souls, we are whole, we are complete, right? We are spirits. So why do we need these activations during our physical experience?
I could say we actually don't. You have a choice, but you've already humanity has chosen so many bad things that we've caused a lot of damage to our physical vehicle. So in restoring that, I mean, if we go back 3,000 years, healing is not a new phenomenon. Healing has been around for thousands of years. 3,000 years ago, Solomon said, we need to restore the physical body. We need to restore the aura and the soul body and the mind body and the emotional body. We need to restore all this. So for 40 years, Solomon and his team, he summoned shamans from all over the world into his temple. And there were 300,000 shamans from all over the world who worked for 40 years in creating one system of healing that would work everywhere, not localized, but work everywhere. And this is the work that we continue today. This is what we lead forward. And in repairing, of course, these shamans is a very shamanic tradition. And example, if I may show you here. We have something called the DNA activation, and it's done with basically a crystal attached to a wood thing.
Yes, I can see it.
And this is very shamanic.
It's like a magician.
Right. Yeah, it's like a Harry Potter style. You know?
Yes.
But this kind of tool, 3,000 years ago, the shaman said to Solomon, well, this is what brings the physical. The physical body has come from this earth. This vehicle is from earth. You can't repair that with some tools from spirit. You have to repair it with tools from this body, from this physical world. So these are the many of these tools are like this. So very, very shamanic. For the mind, we can, yes, use esoteric, high Kabbalistic magic and repair the mind that way. And we have in the King Solomon lineage something called mind region. That's to heal the mind, basically. So there are many, many tools. We have many seminars, actually.
So when you do life activation, what are you supposed to feel in your body? What are you supposed to experience after you do the activation or you do other initiations from the mystery school?
It's when you get the life activation, it's not, we can't say this and this and this is what you're going to feel. Because it's kind of like I take on the role of going into your karmic outhouse and shovel your stuff out. That's kind of what I'm trying to do. So I might be very successful and bring a lot of things out, or I might be only a little bit out. So according to how much things you are willing to let go of is how you would feel. Some people are I mean, we've had people faint through in life activation, and others feel almost nothing. So people who come and are really ready to let go and just transform, they will have huge experience from that.
So,
but the thing is this, that even though they feel nothing, it still is working, and it takes time. And maybe 3-4 months later, they realize, oh wow, this is really working on me.
It can make you feel like, for me, in the first few months, I felt more confused. Like before the life activations, I knew what I wanted. I was very focused. And after the life activation, I became very confused, and it took me to a phase of, you know, of inside, of being inside myself and letting myself be in the unknown zone for about a year. And now I feel that I'm coming out of it and starting to be more focused and know what my mission in life is and what I need to do here. Is this, does it sound, you know, something that could happen?
Yeah, yes, very much. The, you know, we have a lot of things that we've created a foundation with. This is how my life is, and this is who I am, and we have all these things. And the fact is, when light comes into you, those things start cracking away, and you start realizing, oh, that wasn't actually me, and this foundation starts crashing. And that's what we see with almost everybody who comes to the mystery school, that the foundation cracks and you build a new foundation based on the spiritual foundation.
So we have a few more minutes, and I want to ask you a little bit more about the Kabbalah, the Universal Kabbalah, because I heard little birds singing in my ears that you might be coming here to Israel to teach the Kabbalah. So I want to hear, what is it? What can we gain from it? If you can, you know, say a little, what is the difference between the Jewish Kabbalah that many of us probably know better, and the Universal Kabbalah, and when are you coming to Israel?
When I'm coming, I don't know yet. I'm hoping
you
next.
Know, it's recorded, so you know I can.
Well, I hope next year. I really can't say. The international schedule is pretty hard. So we're trying to for 2016. I'm hoping. I can't promise anything. One thing I want to say about Kabbalah. You started the show with talking about my resume, and yeah, I do a lot of things, and most people they see it and they don't. And you know what you read is only maybe half of it.
I know, because if I would read the whole list, it would be the whole hour, and I wanted to talk about more important things.
Yeah. And what this phenomena is basically called a multidimensional being. And that is the goal of Kabbalah. Kabbalah is to create a multidimensional being. When you truly integrate, when you take your mind because everything is the mind, you take the mind, and most people have 300,000 processes, mind processes going through the mind every minute. 300,000. Wow. I have 10. I only have 10. Those are the 10 sephiroths of the Tree of Life. Mm. And because of that, I don't have to deal with all these 300,000. I'm only dealing with 10. So I can live 10 lifetimes in one. Because I have all this energy now to spend on other things that I want to do. Now, I wake up in the morning, and it's not like I'm like, okay, today I'm going to do this. But at the end of the day, I have been working on producing a movie. I've finished another album of my own personal music. I've done all these things, and actually don't know how I did it. It just, at the end of the day, it's done. So each day is this multidimensional magic, and if I stay focused in the Kabbalah, if I stay focused with my practice of Kabbalah, this is the result of that.
So what you're saying is that it gets your true potential and makes you use more of your capacities and your talents and your abilities. This is what you mean?
Yes.
Doing the practices of the Kabbalahs and living by the Tree of Life, the 10 spheres?
Yes.
Can you say something about it, about the Kabbalah, some more? It's interesting. Kabbalah. We have to do another show about Kabbalah, because I didn't ask you nothing about it.
Yeah.
Or a series of interviews, because it's only half the page that I wanted to ask you.
Kabbalah is the absolute ultimate. Okay. So if we look at this physical body, and we have this vehicle, and we want to understand this vehicle. So the blueprint for this vehicle is called the Tree of Life. So if I wanted to change something in this vehicle, I have to go to the blueprint. And if I'm not happy with my body, I go to the blueprint and change it. So the Tree of Life is the blueprint. Now the Tree of Life is not a two-dimensional entity. It's a 3D form with actually 4 pillars and a central pillar. And it rotates all the time, constantly rotating. It has from one side, it has 10 sephiroths, and then it has paths in between, 30 or 22 paths. So altogether, these are 32 energies that we can work with and control. And so from the 300,000 mind processes, I worked my down into 32, and then from 32 to the 10. So this is kind of the process of elimination. When you get to this point, when you start working with the Kabbalah every day, you are constantly communicating with the physical body. You're communicating with the vehicle that you're driving. And through your mind, you control it. So, but Kabbalah is not, it's a very practical application. Kabbalah, if you use it every day, that's when the magic happens. It's not something you can just, I took a class and put it on the shelf and I'm done. Kabbalah, you have to practice the Kabbalah. Even though after the first lesson in Kabbalah, the Tree of Life starts organizing your mind automatically. Starts just shifting everything around. And after a while, you start realizing, but the more you practice, the more benefits you get from it. So now you mentioned that there's many different Kabbalahs, Christian, Jewish, and all that. In the core, it's just one teaching. And like Solomon did not teach Jewish Kabbalah. At that time, there was no such thing. It was Kabbalah. And it was a universal thing, this core teaching.
We are running out of time, but I want you to say and to finish with a few more words about the vision of the Mystery School and the new paradigm, and how are we going to reach this Shambhala or this new paradigm that you're talking about?
Mission of the Mystery School is world peace, and the way we accomplish, or the way we want to accomplish that, is by to reach world peace. We have to have inner peace. The people of Earth, 7 billion plus people, have to have inner peace. So, with understanding that I'm an eternal being, I've never been born, I can never die, we have no fear. So inner peace is created. So we want our mission. Our mission is to teach this and bring that to the masses. Shambhala is created. Shambhala is being created as we speak. The world of Shambhala is emerging on the planet, and there are many places on the earth. Example, this my own country of Iceland. What we did in Iceland, we the people went down to the parliament. We opened the doors to the parliament and said, "Guys, you're all fired. Get out." We fired our own government. Then we wrote a new constitution, actually on a Facebook page with 20, 30, 40,000 people. We wrote a new constitution on the Facebook page, and then we did a new government and voted for a new people, a new government. So this is what's going on the planet, and it's increasing. There's a lot of the new paradigm is everywhere. You know, we have geodesic domes, we have aquaponic systems, we have, eco-green living is growing everywhere. New thoughts with medicine, with food. All of this is around us. And just open your eyes and watch. It's like cancer. People are dying from cancer all the time. And it's why. I had 14 years ago, I had stage 4 lung cancer. They gave me 1 year to live. That's 14 years ago. I went to an ozone clinic. I got ozone in my vein twice a day for about 30 minutes. And in 1 week, I was clean of, the cancer was gone. And this is happening. This is a 70-year-old method from Germany. They're still using that. And there are clinics now all over Japan, all over Europe, everywhere. So, there's many ways that we can be doing things that are not from the old paradigm, the new paradigm thinking. So just keep your hope up and everything's going to be good. Practice joy every day. Make a list of 10 things that bring you joy and do at least 5 of them every day.
Okay, so Gudni, I want to thank you very, very much for this intriguing interview. I enjoyed it very much. I could talk to you for about a few more hours and not have enough. And we hope to see you soon here in Israel. And I hope that in this interview and in this Practical Inspiration show, we brought a little more light and love and peace into this earth. And thank you very, very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.